Manojavaja puta karma negrine Namasunaba kila dharma shetave Hya dharma shila shuradumna ketave Trailokya gopaya vishuddha varchase Manojava jat bhuta karma negrine Namasuna bhakila dharma shetave Hya dharma shila shuradumma ketave Trailokya gopaya vishuddha varshase Manojava jat bhuta karma negrine Namasuna bhakila dharma setave Ya dharma shila nurma ketave Ya dharma shila shuradumna ketave Trailokya gopaya vishuddha varchase Trailokya bhuta karma negrine Namaha. All respectful obeisances unto you. Sunabha. O you who have an auspicious hub. Akila dharma shetave. Whose spokes are considered to be a bridge of the entire universe. He, indeed, adharmashila, who are irreligious, asura, for the demons, dhumaketabe, unto you who are like fire, or an inauspicious comet, Trailokya, of the three material worlds, Gopaya, the maintainer, Vishuddha, transcendental, Varchase, whose effulgence, Manajavaya, as speedy as the mind, Abduta, wonderful, Karmane, so active, Grine, I simply utter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Sudarshan, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an auspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the three worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence. You are as quick as the mind, and you're able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word Namaha, offering all obeisances unto you. Purport. The dish of the Lord is called Sudarshan because he does not discriminate between high and low criminals or demons. Durvasa Muni was certainly a powerful Brahmana, but his acts against the pure devotee Maharaj Ambarish were not better than the activities of Asuras. As stated in the Shastras, Dharmans tu Shakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. The word Dharma refers to the orders or laws given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarva Dharman Parityaja Man Ekam Saranam Braja. Real Dharma is surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, real Dharma means bhakti, or devotional service to the Lord. The Sudarshan Chakra is here addressed as Dharma Setave, the protector of Dharma. Maharaj Ambarish was a truly religious person, and consequently, for his protection, the Sudarshan Chakra was ready to punish even such a strict Brahmana as Durvasa Muni, because he has acted like a demon. There are demons even in the form of Brahmanas. Therefore, the Sudarshan Chakra does not discriminate between Brahmanas demons and Sudra demons. Anyone against the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotee is called a demon. In the Shastras, we find many Brahmanas and Kshatriyas who acted as demons and has been described as demons. According to the verdict of the Shastras, one has to be understood according to his symptoms. If one is born of a Brahmana father, but his symptoms are demoniac, he is regarded as a demon. The Sudarshan Chakra is always concerned with annihilating the demons. Therefore, he is described as Adharma Shilashura Dhumna Ketabe. Those who are not devotees are called Adharma Shila, and the Sudarshan Chakra is just like an inauspicious comet for all such demons. Nama Suna Bakila Dharma Setave Ya Dharma Shila Shuradhumna Ketabe Trailokya Gopa Javishuddha Varchashe Mano Java Jat Bhuta Karma Negrine. O Sudarshan, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an inauspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the three worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence. You are as quick as the mind, and you're able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word Namaha, offering obeisances unto you. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pasya Bhutale Srimate Prabhupada Swami Tinamine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pasya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Srinyavadi Pashatyade Satarine Vancha Kalpa Taruvyasha Kripa Sindhu Vyavacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, Nama Suna Nama Suna Bakila Dharma Setave. Dharma Setave, Prabhupada explains that the Sudarshan Chakra is the upholder of religion, is the protector of religion. And the Prabhupada clarifies that when we're talking about Dharma Shetave in terms of the Sudarshan Chakra, we're speaking about the ultimate or the Param Dharma. We're not speaking about the type of Dharma that is prescribed in most of the Vedas. We're talking about the supreme Dharma, and that is it becomes clarified, or it becomes expressed very, very clear in the beginning of Bhagavatam, that there is it makes a very strong differentiation between the Dharma that is embraced and is propounded in the Bhagavatam and the Dharma that is contained in most of Vedic literatures. And it's a very interesting and important thing to understand, because regardless, either the Dharma that appears in the Vedas or the Dharma that is propounded and is, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, either one of those or both of those are being provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharmanstu Bhagavan Pranitan. That the principles of religion are given exclusively by the Personality of Godhead. So, the Srimad Bhagavatam makes it clear that the principles of religion that are mixed with selfish motivations or with material motivations, those principles of religions are not considered desirable. They're not considered desirable for the ultimate goal of life. They're lesser. And the Srimad Bhagavatam describes it as Kaitava Dharma. Kaitava Dharma, or cheating principles of religion. So one may say, well, this is very possible, but why Krishna will provide a system flaw that cheats people? And the answer is not that Krishna is flawed, or Krishna is a cheater, or is dishonest, or is tricky, like a business person. Sometimes business persons say, for you I make no profit. But you can understand, no, that doesn't make sense. You're making profit. So for business people, there is allowance to lie for making some profit. So Krishna is not doing something duplicitous or something diplomatic or, tricky like that. He provides something that fits reality of people who are cheaters, or the type of consciousness that is absorbed in their selfish motivations. And because of that, when we are absorbed in our selfish motivation, then we naturally tend to not only cheat others, but cheat ourselves. And when I say because of that type of mentality that is in the conditions, then Krishna provides something that can regulate them and elevate them. It functions like that. We see sometimes with the spiritual master. The example, famous, we heard it many times here, the same example of Srila Prabhupada dealing with disciples. And this appears in His Grace Harisori Prabhu's recollections of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. Harisori Prabhu was the secretary of Srila Prabhupada, and he was present in the conversation that Prabhupada one time has, in which during a conversation, he was really expressing his dislike for this rock and roll, or this hippie culture and rock and roll culture. And so he was, that this keeping long hair and, playing all these instruments, this passionate music is basically to attract the opposite sex. It's sort of, designed that. Therefore, the motto of what is it? Sex, rock and roll, and what is it, the other one? And now I forgot. That was, yes, drugs. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So it's all very much connected with such a gross sense gratification. So now we're trying to engage that, but Prabhupada was expressing some dislike. No. And then later, Harisori Prabhu have witnessed a disciple of Srila Prabhupada who just became a grihasta and wanted to get Prabhupada's blessings because he was a musician and wanted to start a band and preach Krishna consciousness through rock and roll. And then Prabhupada said, sure, yes, you can do. And then Harisori was puzzled. So Harisori Prabhu asked Prabhupada, just a moment ago you were blasting that you dislike that you think, that it's better just to, chant Hare Krishna, do Harinam in public if you want to influence the public. And so why now you gave your blessings and have no problem with this devotee doing this? And then Prabhupada say, if I say to him no, he will still do it. But it will be more detrimental to him if I say no, and then he will still do it, because now not only he will be engaged in disobeying the order of the spiritual master, and that will be much more detrimental to his Krishna consciousness. So sometimes, many times, the spiritual master will tell us, he gave us the blessings to actually proceed with something that we're so attached to do, that have to do with what we want, our material desires, or our material condition, or the conception that I have of myself. Then because I'm convinced that I want, then the spiritual master, what is he going to say? He's going to say, okay, do it, but do it this way. Make sure you do this, make sure you do that. He gave some instructions. So, Krishna is the same way. The spiritual masters reflect Krishna's mood. So Krishna provides a system for people that are bent to enjoy in the material world. So, okay, you have this strong desire to enjoy in the material world, this Bhoga Aishwarya, to enjoy and to be a controller. So you have that strong desire, so okay, follow these rules and regulations. Follow these codes of religion. Do it in this way. And there's elevation. So it's progressive. There's no degradation, but there's elevation. It's a gradual elevation, but there's elevation. Now, the Bhagavatam kicks that system out. The Bhagavatam goes to the supreme process of religion that ultimately is beneficial to all classes of men and is applicable to all classes of men, including the men or the people who are who have desires and who have attachments. Materially conditioned people, as well as the liberated people. This system of religion that the Bhagavatam gives is applicable to all, the whole spectrum, even to people that are very grossly ignorant. They can be elevated to the highest position by this process of religion that is given in the Bhagavatam. Therefore, the narration goes that when the sages of Naimisharanya asked Sutta Goswami to give what is the essence of all religion, what is the topmost practice that will allow the unfortunate people of Kali Yuga to elevate themselves, to have the greatest benefit, then Srila Sutta Goswami says devotional service. Loving devotional service to the personality of Godhead. So devotional service is actual religion. Devotional service is actual dharma. And Prabhupada makes this point here in the purport that dharma is what is fully protected by the Lord. And the Sudarshan Chakra is the upholder or the protector of devotional service, of that supreme process of religion. And it makes sense because where the Bhagavatam starts in Savai Punsam Paro Dharma, that's where the Bhagavatam starts, the Bhagavad Gita ends. The Bhagavad Gita ends with Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Man Ekam Saranam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papabhyo Mokshayishami Masuchaha. The devotee who fully takes to this path, who is situated in the path of exclusive devotion and service to Krishna, he have no worries. He will be protected. Krishna makes that vow, that promise, that you do not worry. Masuchaha. I will protect you. I will protect you of anything inauspicious that will come into your life. And the manifestation of that protection is the Sudarshan Chakra. And we have here that the Sudarshan Chakra, Prabhupada explains that doesn't differentiate between if it's a highly elevated Brahmana or if it's a very, very gross, ignorant Sudra or worse. If any of the above is attacking or antagonizing a devotee, then the Sudarshan chakra will protect, will actually consider them equally punishable. There is no, because this is a Brahmana, he's exalted, so we should not. No. If any person in any stage, in any position, becomes offensive and antagonistic to someone who is situated in this parandharma, then they will be punished. They will be punished equally. In fact, according to the Ishupanishad, I think, according to the Ishupanishad, the Sri Ishupanishad, Kukulananda Prabhu brought this briefly. He quoted this verse, text 9, in which it is explained that there are two classes of ignorant people. There's two classes of people who are sent into the darkness region of ignorance. Two types. Andam tamaha pravishanti. So andam, gross ignorance, tamaha, darkness, pravishanti, enters. So those who are avidyan upashate, those who worship ignorance, they're sent into the darkness regions of ignorance. So when those who are avidyan upashate are gross materialists, it is explained that they only function for sense gratification. The only thing that the goal of life is just gratifying the senses, and in a gross manner. And they will do anything to gratify the senses. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that two classes, and specifically one of them is the poster or the perfect example of this avidyan upashate, which is what is it? How's it go? Nama duskritina mudha. The mudha means ass-like. Mudha. The gross materialist is considered like an ass, like a donkey, very dull-headed animal. And dull-headed because he has no intelligence. The donkey in general is famous or infamous for being not very intelligent. Not very intelligent because the donkey works very hard and is very dull. And Prabhupada explains that the donkey is tricked by the master to work so hard, very, very hard, for a morsel of grass. And Prabhupada explained the donkey is so foolish, so dull-headed, so unintelligent, that he doesn't realize that the world he's surrounded by grass. He doesn't have to work to be able to eat grass. He just He can be living freely in the fields and eat as much grass as he wants without working. So, very unintelligent people, misguided people that are, because of the desire to gratify the senses, they live as an existence that is cast into the lower regions of ignorance. They're destined to actually, because they function in the consciousness of an animal, they're destined to become animals. Is the harsh reality that is explained in the scriptures. That they're destined to actually go into the lower species of life. Then the other class of people is the Vidyajan Rata. Vidyajan Rata. That also are cast into the lowest regions of ignorance, but they actually consider worse. They actually consider worse. Tato bhuya ivate tamaha. Into the also cast into the darkness regions of ignorance. But they're even worse. And who is this Vidyajan Rata? There are those who have knowledge of the Vedas, who are followers, who are engaged in the knowledge of the Vedas. And they consider worse, according to the Sri Ishupanishad. They're in a worse position. The verse translates like this: those who are engaged in the culture of nations, activities shall enter into the darkness regions of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. Prabhupada translates as so-called knowledge. When you engage in Vedic culture, you follow Vedic culture without proper understanding of the purpose of the Vedas. And the Bhagavad Gita explains that very clearly too. He says to Arjuna that there is two places in which he describes people that possess knowledge, but that knowledge is misguided. And that knowledge is very dangerous. There's two similes that Prabhupada brings in the purpose of these verses in the Bhagavad Gita. One, Gokulananda spoke about it, and actually was in the purport too, of the serpent with a jewel. The serpent with a jewel is more dangerous than a serpent without a jewel. Because if you see a serpent with a valuable jewel, you'll be attracted. So you can be, you're in a more dangerous situation when you have that encounter. And the other one is that the putting ornaments on a dead body for the pleasure of the relative. You put all kinds of ornaments and jewels and nice dresses and silk into a dead body. It won't do anything for the dead body. So to have knowledge that is not connected to the proper purpose of that knowledge, or the purpose, to possess this knowledge and misapply it for a wrong purpose is more dangerous, is worse. It makes you like a white-collar criminal. the little criminal, or the lesser criminal, usually gets punished very bad. But the ones that are the heads, the big guys, the capo, the mafia boss, those are the ones that they're the most hardly punished, because they're the brains. They're the one who makes the others follow criminal life. So, people with knowledge that is misguided, they're more dangerous. And Krishna describes it in two places as the Veda Vada Ratha. Veda Vada Ratha, in the second chapter. Veda Ratha means the followers of the Vedas. It comes. He say this. This word that abhipaschita means of poor fund of knowledge, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't go there. Move away from that. Give up all this attachment to the flower words. Just pass over all this and go to the real thing. So, these Veda Vada Ratha, the followers, the so-called followers of the Vedas, are misguided because they don't know the purpose of the Vedas. And the purpose of the Vedas are given later in the 15th chapter. Vedaischa Chaivar Aham Eva Vedyo. That Krishna says that he is, the purpose of the Vedas is to know him. The purpose of all the Vedas is to come to know Krishna. So, when you become completely absorbed in the wrong purpose, the purpose of the Vedas is for my sense gratification, then you're considered this Vidyayam Rata. You consider this much worse. Much worse. And what happens with demons, with people that are too attached and too absorbed, if they come to actually commit an offense? And it's very easily for people who are very materialistically engrossed to commit an offense towards devotees. So they're punishable. They're punishable by the Lord himself. And when they have, when by association with this type of, they become associated with demons, then they're finished. And we see the case of Durvasa Muni, that he in despite of all his powers and knowledge, he clearly was not able to recognize bhakti. He didn't have bhakti, and those he was not able to recognize a bhakta. And he became he acted like a demon. And because of his good fortune, he was able to save himself by the association of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and ultimately by the association of Ambarish Maharaj. By the association of devotees, we can come to the position of real knowledge, of vidya. And in the Shirish Upanishad, the concept of vidya is established in the first verse. The first verse, the first mantra of the Upanishad tells that the knowledge means understanding this principle of Ishavasya Idam Sarvam, that Krishna is the proprietor of everything. He is the owner of everything. And thus, He provides for us. Each one of us, Krishna provides. And allotted, all of us have, our, a quota, an allotted quota. All of us are given a quota. And we have to be, with gratitude and happiness, accept that quota. Without thinking, wait a minute, what about this guy has a little more than me? We don't think like that. So that's knowledge. Ishavasya Idam Sarvam. That is knowledge, it's vidya. And when we take that rather than Krishna as a proprietor, then I think, Ishwaraham Aham Bhogi. I am the controller, I am the Ishwara, me. I am the proprietor, everything is for my enjoyment. Then that is the definition of, in the Bhagavad Gita, of Asura. When in the chapter of demoniac mentality, divine and demoniac, then the demoniac mentality is described. This is what the Asura sing. Ishwaraham Aham Bhogi, blah, blah, blah. It goes like, I'm so strong, I will defeat my enemies, my relatives are so nice, and all this on. Like that. So, knowledge, ignorance is punishable throughout the whole spectrum, from slight ignorance all the way to the ignorance of the demons, and they're all punishable. And the only is when we take shelter of devotional service, then we're protected. We're protected by Krishna. We're protected by Krishna's process. And as long as we remain under the lotus feet of those who are connected to this supreme process of religion. Any comment or questions? Yes, Subhal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the class. On the point of you told the story of Prabhupada and he's told his
Say that again and explain.
On the point of Prabhupada telling his his one devotee that he should just chant Hare Krishna, and the other devotee because he wasn't ready because he was going to do it anyway. I'm just curious, and I'm still trying to put in the words, but because I'm just trying to understand that scenario. So saying like different people have different levels, and some people, even though they have the information, they're not fully convinced. So they wouldn't. So even though if Prabhupada would have told him, "Don't shave your head, chant Hare Krishna," he would have still shave your head, chant Hare Krishna. He would have still grown out his hair, started a band, even though Prabhupada told him not to. Is that like so? Is it like a matter of faith? And
Yeah. So the spiritual master is very expert, very kind too, but very, very, very expert. And he will understand where is the heart of the devotee, and he will try to, make an arrangement so the devotee will gradually sort of purify those desires. We have it all over in the scriptures, like how Dhruva Maharaj got purified from his desire to obtain a kingdom. and there was Narada Muni's brilliance. And of course, is the kindness of the spiritual master, but it's also the sincerity of the disciple to follow the instructions. So, the spiritual master, if he sees your heart that you're determined of following certain path, and regardless of what he says, you still will do, then he will give you instructions how you can go through that path and still sort of be connected and progress, continue progressing. It will be slower, the progress, but it will be progress if you follow. I have that personal experience in a rock and roll set story type of thing. Because I was a musician and I was pursuing a career in rock and roll. And I was very attached, obviously, because, I grew up my whole life visualizing that. So when I came to Krishna consciousness, I was playing in a band and was pursuing that career. And there was no way it was going to be too difficult for me to give up that. And my Guru Maharaj was so expert in dealing with that. So expert and so kind and so expert. So he didn't say it, give it up. He said, do it this way. He gave me engagement in devotional service responsibilities, and he gave me the education and gave me the space to continue along with that. But he also did something very clever. He said, he gave me the space. He asked me, how much time you think you need to achieve the goal of your endeavor. And I give a time. Actually, I was generous with myself. I say, 5 years. So, I was thinking, because I was looking, I was trying to be realistic too, So 5 years. So he said, 5 years? Okay. So he gave me 5 years. And I forgot about it, but 5 years in a dot. I sort of I was just going through life, doing my thing. I didn't forget, the conversation. I was not counting off. My Guru Maharaj was counting. So one day he calls me into the office and say, so, do? Say, what, Guru Maharaj? I'm going on Harinam. No. What are you going to do? I don't understand. It's 5 years. Today is 5 years from the time we have the conversation that you say, in 5 years is what you need. So now 5 years is on. In the dot. 5 years in the dot. So what are you going to do? There's no much results. So what are you going to do? So I say, okay, I quit. So I was ready. Back then I was not ready. That time I was ready to quit. It was a little painful, but I was able to. So, is expert, the spiritual master, is very kind. But still we have to have the faith of following the instructions while we're following that path. If I didn't have that attachment, then I may have saved myself, a lot of grievance, and difficulties. I could have, used that time to go much further into, the practice of devotional service, much more focused. But, I needed 5 years. So, like that. Is that an answer?
Yeah, thank you.
Any other question? Manoj Prabhu?
In the purport, Prabhupada was mentioning how there are Brahmana Ashuras and Shudra Ashuras, like that. It seems a little contradictory to understand how there can be like Brahmana Ashuras, because it seems like a person who is a Brahmana is one who understands, has knowledge of the absolute truth. But then such a person having demoniac qualities is like something I was wondering.
Yeah, I think Prabhupada also explains that, in terms of being a Brahmana but not displaying, when you don't, it's by guna and karma that you're a Brahmana, but this is so-called Brahmanas. Yeah, it's an oxymoron. It's like saying a fallen devotee or a bad devotee. That's an oxymoron. A devotee is not falling, a devotee is not, is not bad. If a devotee is a devotee, is a very exalted. So Prabhupada refers to the so-called Brahmanas, or the Brahmanas just a name, He also mentioned in the purport that it is by guna and karma. You have to act as a Brahmana to be accepted as a Brahmana. If your guna and karma, your qualities are demoniac, you are accepted as a demon. You're not a Brahmana, you're a demon. So in reality, it's just a demon. And, we hear in the narrations of Chaitanya Charitamrita, this, the Brahmana who threatened to cut Srila Haridas Thakur's nose. Remember that guy? Because Srila Haridas Thakur was expressing that the holy name is so powerful that even by the reflection of the holy name, not even the Sudanam, but the Namabhas can liberate you. This guy became, what was his name? Gopal Champu, something like that. He became enraged because he was a Smarta Brahmana. So he became enraged and he started to curse Haridas Thakur. And then he said, if your words are not true, I will cut your nose. Something like that. He threatened. Next day, his nose fell down. He contracted leprosy and his nose melted. So he threatened, and during Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami's pastimes, the Brahmanas, the Smarta Brahmanas of Navadvip, that they planned to kill him, they pay the police to kill Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and the police, was so scared to do something to a great sadhu that they went to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and say, take care of yourself, they want to kill you. They're paying us to kill you. These are demons. These are not sadhus. These are not brahmanas. So-called brahmanas. Brahmanas, in the Bhagavad Gita is explained, they're gentle, what is it, Samodama, equipoise, charitable, knowledgeable, they teach, they accept charity, they give charity, So that's the quality of the Brahmana. Yeah, it's not, these are demons. In the case of Durvasa Muni, he was a very elevated Brahmana, but because of pride, he acted like a demon. And he was going to get punished like a demon. But he was able to sort of save himself by reforming right on this, on the heat of the, being punished. He reformed. And the reforming part is that you bow down, you touch the lotus feet of the devotee. So, then his pride was crushed, his pride was killed. The pride was the demon part, by the mercy of the devotee. Anything else? Okay, thank you so much. Garantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.